Good morning, Year 4. So today for our maths lesson, we are going to continue on with about our multiplication, but I'm going to show you a couple of different strategies you can use. One of them on the board behind me, we are going to be doing our multiplication fact families, which also does show us some division fact families. And I'm also going to show you some different kinds of multiplication that you can try outside as well. So for this activity, our learning intention is that we are learning to identify multiplication and division fact families. For our success criteria, we have two options. So I can identify multiplication fact families, and our second one is I can identify division fact families. So for now, I only really want you guys to focus on the multiplication, because that is the one that we are learning about today. The division one is for the Year 5 students in 4-5AB. You are going to be working on the division one as well. So, having a look at our board, we are going to start with the multiplication fact family example. So, I'm going to start by writing the number 10 on top, because for this fact family, we have three numbers. We have 5, 2, and 10. Now, when we're doing a triangle, the highest number always goes up the top of our triangle. So I'm going to put the number 10, and then I can put the 5 and the 2 at the bottom of the other ones. And then in the middle, I'm going to put a multiplication and a division sign. So I'm going to put our cross for our multiplication sign, and I'm going to put our division for our division sign. So, for our first example, what we are going to be looking at is the number 10, 2, and 5. I'm going to start with the lowest numbers because they will add up to the highest number. So, 2 times 5 equals 10. So, 2 times 5 is 10. We can write that the opposite way now, and we can do 5 times 2. So 5 times 2 is also equal to 10. And I know that because there are only 3 numbers shown in our fact family grid on the board. Now, when looking at our division sign, so that is our division, our line with our dot on the top and the bottom for our Year 5 students, that is going to be starting with the biggest number first. So we are going to start because we're taking our biggest number and we're breaking it down. So we are going to start with our 10, and I'm going to divide it by 2. So we've got 10, we've divided it by 2. Now, if you've already guessed, we have one number left, so that is going to be our answer. That is going to be the number 5. So I know that 10 divided by 2 equals 5. I'm going to start with my second one, and I'm going to start with the highest number again, because remember, with division, we are going to divide the biggest number into the smallest numbers. So 10 divided by 5 equals, if you've already guessed and you've said the number 2, you are correct. But 10 divided by 5 equals 2. So this helps to show us our fact families. So when we have these two numbers together and they have the same answer, that is what we call a fact family. So all you have to do is reverse the place of the two numbers. So if you're answering a question and you've got 1 times 3 equals 3, in your brain, you can know that if we reverse it, 3 times 1 is still going to equal the same number. So 3 times 1 equals 3. Another example you can use is using a multiplication chart, which is the next one that I'm going to show you. Good morning, Year 4. So, another option when we are doing our multiplication families, if you have a little bit of chalk lying around at home, you might like to take the opportunity to draw some flowers on the floor. So an example that I have drawn on the floor just here, you can see I've got a big flower with the number 4 in the middle, and then I have the numbers 2 up to 8 following around the edges. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and remember my number facts to work out what 2 times 4 is, what 4 times 4 is, and then I'm going to use some chalk, which I've got just here, to try and solve the flower. So 2 times 4, I'm going to practice skip counting in 2s. I'm going to start with 2, 4, 6, and then 8, and then I'm going to draw the number 8. This is just a different idea of how you might want to incorporate some learning when you are outdoors. Thank you. Oakley dokley. Now, we have another outdoor activity that you can also try if you happen to have some spare chalk at home. So this is a very easy one that you can differentiate. So we've got one that I've set up as a hopscotch board, and I've got some different multiplication facts on there that you can have a look at. You can simply use a rock or any sort of material. They can throw it. Whatever one it lands on, they can skip to it, and then they can answer the question. You can also do this if you want to practice doing addition and subtraction. You might write some addition and subtraction questions as another opportunity to have a little bit of fun outside. At the very top, I've also added in a fun choice square, where you might like to choose a little fun activity that you could try together. So just to demonstrate how the hopscotch board works, I've gone and got a rock from my garden. I'm just going to throw it on one of my numbers. I've got 10 times 5. So I'm going to jump to my number 10 times 5. 10 times 5. I think I'm going to use the strategy of my skip counting. So I'm going to start with 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 10 times 5 is 50. Good job. Now it's going to be your turn. So you can use one of the strategies that I've just shown you in this video. We have our multiplication fact family. You also have the option to use your multiplication fact chart. You can also, if you have some spare chalk lying around, also try one of the outdoor activities to try and help you to remember your multiplication